Hello, and welcome back to the studio. I'm Dr. Wiggo, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Toto Nexus bidet toilet system with the S7A bidet seat. That's a mouthful. It's actually even a longer name, but I cut it down to that. First, I'll tell you why I bought it. Then we'll go down to the bathroom and I'll give you a little quick tour and show you some of the features and some of the other stuff and how it all works. Although I will not be demonstrating the actual sprayer because to film that, it would spray in my face and I'm not going to do that. And then we'll come back up here and I'll give you my final review. Why did I buy it? It wasn't Mark Bennett this time. It was my good friend, the late Owen Kendrick, who had one of these for years and just raved and raved about it. That didn't convince me. But then my brother Joe had his house redone, and in the remodeling, they installed one of these in his house, and he started raving about it. And since we are of similar sizes and builds and etc., I figured if it worked for him, it would work for me. So I started researching. Oh my God, you would not believe what the range of things you can get bidet seats and toilets and all that stuff. They range from $99, yeah, that one's not too fancy, it just sprays water, up to over $12,000. That's a big price range. Now it starts out at the low end are mainly just the seats. In fact, Toto sells a seat through Costco, a bidet seat, for like $400, which is pretty good. But you know me, never good enough for me. I figure as long as I'm doing this, the toilet was old, I'd go ahead and replace the toilet, and I might as well get a fancy toilet. Oh, and who makes great toilets? Toto, who also makes the bidet seats that are considered the best. Although there are many brands, and I looked at a lot of videos of a lot of different brands, and I decided that the Toto was the one for me. This will come back to bite me in the ass later. So after all this research, and once I settled on Toto as my brand, well, then I had to pick which one. And if you go to Lowe's.com, they have dozens and dozens of Toto toilets with bidet seats combinations. I finally settled on one. I picked the Toto Nexus Cotton White Elongated Chair Height Soft Close Bidet, 12-inch rough-in, 1.6 gallons per flush. I already know that description is wrong because right on the toilet it says 1 gallon per flush. By the way, after my review, I'm going to tell a really long story about all the problems I had getting it ready. I ordered it in August. I'm doing this video in January because I've only had it installed properly for about a month at this point. Yeah, it's a long story. That'll be at the end. So if you're just here to hear about the toilet, that's the toilet. I'll put pictures of it here because, you know, being me, I had to get the fancy dancy one, which means I got the Washlet Plus seat, which conceals all the cords that goes into the toilet. Hands-free automatic flush. This was actually a deal breaker for me. I wanted the automatic flush and I wasn't going to buy one that didn't have it. Once I found out it existed, because I'm a hypochondriac, I've always worried about the vortex of germs that come out when you flush a toilet with the seat up. Well, this Autoflush system closes the seat and then flushes. So you don't have all the bacteria coming up in the air. And I was in for that. The higher end Toto seats have this thing called e-water plus. Basically, they ionize the water so it's like electrostatic, clingy kind of thing. So, and then they spray the bowl with it so things won't stick to the bowl as much. And they do that before and after. And like almost all bidet seats, it has both front and back, you know, men and women's. Well, I guess women use both. And it has a tankless water heater in the little tiny unit. I don't know where it fits. You get hot water as long as it needs to go. It's only pulling cold water because it's hooked up to your toilet water supply. So it's only cold water, but it heats it up and it's nice and warm. You can adjust the temperature, how warm you want the water to be. I think the highest it goes is 105 degrees, which is pretty warm. And it has the auto open and close lid, the heated seat, the automatic air deodorizer, a nightlight, a warm air dryer to dry your little tushy after you're done, and a really fancy remote control, which I'll show you downstairs in just a little while. Oh, and then right here it says 1.0 gallons per flush, 1G technology with Tornado Flush, which is a Toto thing. But of course, the listing for Lowe's says it's 1.6. Yeah, we're going to get into that listing for Lowe's. That's in the story after the review. That's the one I got. So let's go down and look at it now, and I'll kind of demonstrate and show you the remote and how that all works. And then we'll come back up here for the review.
A little later.
So here it is. We're going to go in low so you can see as I approach it. The light comes on the side. The light comes on inside. It starts pre-misting with the E-Water Plus. And it's ready to go. And if you sit down, it trips the sensor there. And now it thinks someone's sitting there. And it's pre-cleaning the wand, which will come out later. Although we're not going to do that. Now it thinks I've stood up. If I were still sitting there, we come around here and I would push that button and the wand would come out and spray, and it will keep spraying until you press the stop button. By the way, it thinks I'm gone, so it's doing the e-water thing again to help for cleaning. Now the position of the nozzle is adjustable, so you can move it to get it into the perfect position for you. And you can also adjust the temperature of the water, the strength of the spray, and you can also set it to oscillate and move back and forth, all sorts of things, all programmable. And then again, when you're done, you press that. Now for the ladies, that's the front wash. Again, you can adjust the temperature, all those things. While I was talking, it automatically closed. And then you press that for the little air dryer. On top, you can open the seat or just open the lid. If we open the lid and cover the sensor, you see there's the little dryer blowing hot air on my hands. And yes, it is hot air. It's heated air. The seat is also heated. And over here you can see the power button, and now you see it's doing stuff. And then the little leaf is if you're in eco mode, because by default the seat stays heated all the time. Now back to the remote. While it's functioning, you can still adjust. You can make the spray stronger. You can move things up and down. You can have it spray extra, you can have it oscillate, move back and forth. Oh, and there's 4 memories positions, so you can set your position of where you want the nozzle. They call it the wand. You can set the position of where you want the wand, so you can get it lined up exactly where you want it for both of these functions. And then store that, so then if you have someone else doing it, they can set their own, and so it'll be set for them. And then I already showed you, we have the, well, I'll leave it open. I'm going to press this button, which is the flush. It automatically closes and then flushes. And you can see by when I talk about an installation, you see how there's nothing exposed, and around on this side, nothing exposed except after it comes through the toilet, you can see down there. But because there's a power cord and a hose that come out to here, whoop, it saw me in front of it again, raised the lid back up. And then this is the outlet I had installed for it. And you can see the little light blinking. Oh, and on the back of the remote, there's all sorts of additional settings buttons for programming it and doing all sorts of stuff. And I love the logo. Have questions? Read the manual. And it comes with quite the manual. But you can control all sorts of things. One of the things you can control is the Autoflush. And again, once you stand up and it thinks you're off the seat, you can set how long the delay is before it autoflushes, but the longest delay is like 60 seconds. So it would close and flush while I was still messing with the toilet paper. So I wait and just always use this button. I have Autoflush actually turned off, but it still autoflushes. And the reason you want Autoflush, by the way, for this particular toilet, which is a very low profile, is I have to bend way down to get to the handle. So for the several months when I didn't have this Autoflush button, I would have to walk over there and bend way over to pull that handle. And I got a bad back, and that's not good for me. As you can see, it's a very lovely toilet. It's all one piece except for the lid, which I'll go ahead and take off. There's the Autoflush. It's that motor there, and I don't know how it works. That's, again, I had it professionally installed for a reason. All right, so I'm in front of it again. So that is my new toilet, which I spent a fortune on and probably wasted some money, which you're going to hear about in the review right about now.
A few moments later.
Pretty cool, huh? I like it a lot. My review is I like it a lot. It's really great. I love the automatic flush. And again, like I described, I have it set to not automatically flush. I have to press the button because that gives me enough time. Because here's the big part. Everybody says, oh, you're not going to need toilet paper anymore. Maybe they didn't. I'm a meat eater, and apparently, I guess if you eat rice and fish, then maybe you could get by without using any toilet paper. But I still need toilet paper. Not as much. That's the whole point. But I still need toilet paper. And by the time I'm finished with the paper, the automatic flush system at its longest setting has already closed the lid and flushed. So then I have to open the. So that's why I use the button. I really have no complaints about the toilet. I mean, the heated seat is amazing when you pop in there. Again, as I showed you, you walk in, it opens up, you sit down, it gets all ready, the night lights come on, and then you got the heated seat, and then when you're done, you got the warm water spraying up your butt, and in the little dryer, which really doesn't dry, but it dries it a little. That's why you need some toilet paper, just because you're not going to be completely dry. It's just amazing. Now, is it worth $2,400? Absolutely not. I should have gone with the $400 one from Costco and just popped it onto my existing toilet. I would have gotten 80%. I did really want the Autoflush. So maybe the $400 one wouldn't have been, but I think I could have gotten it for less than $2,400. Now, the S7A seat with that remote, that is $1,400 by itself. So that's $1,400, and then the toilet was another $1,000. And you think, $1,000 for a toilet? Here, let me put up on the screen some of the other toilets you can get at Lowe's for thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. Toto makes some really expensive toilets. This one is just somewhat expensive. But overall, would I recommend it? Yes. Would I recommend this particular combination that costs $2,400? No. Too much. My final verdict is it's not really worth that much money, but you can get the same functionality for considerably less money. I was looking at the Lowe's things. I think you can get them down. Again, for the Autoflush, needs the $1,400 seat. You're not going to get below $1,400 if you want Autoflush. And the Autoflush, the way it works is that it puts a thing in your tank and it may or may not work with your toilet. I know it works with the Toto toilet. That's one of the reasons I bought the Toto toilet, because I knew it would work. I give it a thumb slightly up. Functionality and everything, it's great. If you take price out of the equation, absolutely I recommend it. But at the price, I don't really think it's worth it. I still have to use toilet paper. Not as much, but I still need it. So I'm not saving hundreds of dollars on toilet paper. That's one of their selling points. You'll save hundreds in toilet paper. Yeah, no, you won't. You'll save some. I don't think it's worth it for that kind of money. But you can try it. You can get one of these cheaper versions, one of these, the $400 one at Costco. There's even cheaper ones that you can get, $250. I think I saw one at Lowe's for $100, but it was just water, and I don't think it was heated water. It would just spray cold water up your butt. I don't know if I'd like that. The warm water and the pulsating and oscillating is really, really nice. Not worth $2,400. If you were just here for the review, that's my review. I kind of recommend it, but I recommend you find a cheaper model, a cheaper version, maybe even another brand. Let me tell you the long story of getting it here. As I mentioned earlier on, I ordered this in August. Well, wait, let's go back farther. I decided to buy this for my birthday in July. So knowing I was going to order one, I knew I needed to put an outlet near the toilet. Lucky for me, there was an outlet on the other side of that wall up a little higher. I found a handyman, Mr. Honeydew, here in the Mid-South area, who gave me a good price on putting in the outlet and got back to me like within 3 hours. So they were my guys. So they came over and they're putting the thing in and we're talking and he says, now you're putting this in because you're getting one of those fancy toilets, right? And he starts showing me pictures of a fancy toilet like this, a Toto, I think may have been a Toto, may have been another brand, but that he had installed for somebody else. And he's done these installs before. Wait a minute. If you've done these installs before, why don't you install mine? And he said, I'd love to. When I finally get the outlet and all that installed and everything ready, it's already August. So now I go to order it and I go to Lowe's.com and I think I already put it on the screen, but here, I'll put it up again. This is the one I picked and I ordered it to have it delivered to the store in South Haven, Mississippi, because Mr. Honeydew, they're located in South Haven, Mississippi. And I put them down as the people that are going to pick it up and it's all going to go great. I don't have to do a thing. They're just going to pick it up, bring it over here, install it. I'm good to go. No. Well, first, it comes in way early. I mean, it was supposed to come in like the second week of September, and it arrived like towards the beginning of September. Mr. Honeydew had other things to do, and then got sick, got COVID. So that pushed the pickup back. I think it pushed the pickup back so far that Lowe's was getting nervous. We finally got it scheduled. He got better. So towards the end of September, they come over, they pick it up, they come over, they're ready to install. Now, the day they come, I'm not feeling well. So I felt horrible. So I just said, look, you guys handle it. I'm going to go sit in the living room and just feel bad. Mr. Honeydew had watched videos and everything for this particular toilet, because he'd done toilets like this before, but not this particular toilet. So he had read all the things, and it's complicated because you saw the toilet is completely smooth around the bottom, because that means you got to screw things into the floor and then it attaches and then it's a very complicated procedure. So anyway, so they're doing all that and putting in the toilet. Everything's going fine. And then they start to put the seat on. And he yells at me from the bathroom, think you need to come look at this. I don't think they sent you the toilet seat you ordered. I'm still feeling bad, but I kind of drag myself into the bathroom. And sure enough, it's not the right toilet seat. It's the S7, which doesn't have Autoflush. And they didn't include the little Autoflush kit that you're supposed to come with, which if I had been feeling better, I probably would have noticed when they were bringing it in and unpacking it. But because I felt so bad, I went and sat down. They weren't sure what was supposed to be in the shipment. So at this point, we have the toilet installed. And I said, well, go ahead and install the seat they sent. I'll go call Lowe's. So I go call the Lowe's 800 number. And they take all my information. They go, okay, yeah, we can get oh, wait, you had it delivered to a store? We can't handle that here at the 800 number. You're going to have to call the store. I don't know if you've ever called a Lowe's store, but you get an automated system. It doesn't understand anything you say. The only people I could get it to connect me to was returns. That's probably who I should talk to. I'm talking to them, and I tell them the story, and they say, well, just bring the toilet back. I said, no, the toilet is already installed. I can bring the seat back, but then I won't have a toilet seat. They gave me a runaround. This went on for a couple of weeks. I'd call the 800 number and they'd go and they say, no, you have to deal with the store. I said, well, the store won't help me. And so finally I drive 45 minutes to this Lowe's, which I picked because it was close to my installers, not because it was close to my house. And I go down there, and the best thing they could come up with was order another one, pay another $2,400, and then return the other one. But at this point, we're pushing 30 days. I said, by the time that happens, this will be past 30 days, and you won't accept the return. And they said, well, not our problem. So I have a working toilet. I mean, I have a bidet seat and I'm trying it out and I'm doing all the stuff, but I don't have the Autoflush and I don't have, everything. I call Lowe's. I call Lowe's corporate. I go back to the store again. I called Toto. I called the distributor. Lowe's returns desk had me call the distributor to see about getting the part. Well, then they needed an invoice. Oh, it was a nightmare. I spent days and days messing with this. And finally, I just had it. And so I had charged it on a credit card. So I disputed the charge. I said, they didn't give me what I ordered. And it's already installed, so I can't just take it back. I'm disputing the charge. I figured now they'll get in touch with me. And yes, they did. The store finally called me. I guess someone from the manager's office finally called. And we went through the whole thing. And they said, yeah, I see the problem. Let me work on it. More weeks go by. And then she calls back and said, okay, I've ordered the thing. Basically, she had to order another one and then just give me the seat and the Autoflush. But it took her a long time to be able to do that. So we are now September, October. We're now in November. So in mid-November, I finally get a call from, this is the other thing. She'd call me and I wouldn't pick up and leave a message and say, call me back. Well, again, it's calling a Lowe's store. There's no way to get a hold of her. You can't ask for people by name. You can't ask for people by extension. So there was no way to call her back. So I just had to wait for her to call when I saw it, the call, and could answer it. Oh, that finally happened. And she said, okay, I got it ordered. I'll call you back when it's here. More weeks go by. So finally, in December, she calls me, I go down there, I check it out, it's what I needed, I bring it back here, and I call Mr. Honeydew to come do it. Well, he's on a contract in another state for like a week, so I had to wait like another week. I did get it by Christmas. It was for a July birthday present, but I did get it before Christmas. I've had most of the functionality since September, but I have only had the full S7A Autoflush, the whole 9 yards, since December. And it is fantastic. Like I said in my review, I love it. But oh my God, was that a pain in the ass to get it actually all the pieces here and installed. I'll tell you one thing. I will never have anything delivered to a store again when I order from Lowe's. I'll have it delivered to my house. And then the 800 people will take care of me because they all seemed to know what was going on and they had people there, experts, and they could have handled it. The store was not equipped to handle a special order of a $2,400 toilet. I mean, she did it. God bless her. Took her a while, but she got it done. So I'm happy now, and I'm happy with Lowe's. It was all good. It just took 4 months to get it all resolved. Now, part of that was, I was sick, Mr. Honeydew got sick, there were all sorts of extenuating circumstances, but oh my God, what an ordeal. So not only did it cost me $2,400, it cost me a couple of $1,000s in my time dealing with Lowe's and going down there. I had to go down there a couple of times. Don't get me started. Well, actually, I guess you already did get me started. Now I'm done. So that's the whole story. So for those of you who stayed to the end, God bless you. When you get stuff from Lowe's, special orders, don't have it shipped to store because then you're going to have to deal with the store if there's anything wrong. And they're not really set up to handle that, whereas the 800 number people are. So that's my big tip for the end of the video. I guess that's it. So that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Bye-bye. I'm going to go wait for my Thunderbolt 5 enclosure to arrive, so that'll be my video next week. Thanks for staying to the end. Bye-bye.